welcome to another Seven Figure Photographer Live. It's Sam. I'm here. I know you guys are probably all surprised.
Something's weird with the volume.
Yeah, maybe. I need volume, like a microphone. Would that help? Is that better? Should I now say what's up, everybody? Welcome.
Let's try again.
Welcome to another Seven Figure Photographer Live. I'm really doing a good job. I nailed it. Nailed the start.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Did we do it? We missed last week, didn't we?
It was a holiday.
Oh, that's right. And apparently I don't work on holidays.
Apparently you don't.
Apparently I don't know if I work anymore at all. But I still got $1. That's all that matters. What's up, James? Welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about, did you see the title?
Yes, I did.
Do you realize you're going to get put on the spot?
Shit, Sam.
Did you just say shit?
No.
This is live. This is live. I can't beep that.
No, nobody would have known it was quiet until you said that.
James heard it. His ears are probably burning right now.
He says, James,
she did.
Thanks.
So today we are going to talk about identifying your genius. It really just comes from the business book of the month. If you guys haven't heard, business book of the month is The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks.
I bought a new one.
You did?
I did.
You didn't get a hardbound one, did you?
No.
Oh, because I really want to get a hardbound one. I got to get the new one because I lent mine out or gave it to somebody and don't have it. Okay, look. Oh, you're telling me we have it so that I can show everybody what the cover is. This is the book you want to get. Mia will go in and post the link as well if you guys don't have it. Yes, James, this is The Big Leap. Great book. One of my top 5 ever read. I am going back rereading it because it was something that I really needed. If you got a chance to watch our last live, I cried like a little girl. So did Mia. Mia cried like a little girl.
Mia is a little girl, so it's okay.
She is a little girl. So yeah, it was a really raw, I guess, live last time. So if you didn't get a chance, go back and watch it. We talk about The Big Leap. But that's what we're going to talk about today is identifying your genius. But before we do that, let's probably start with an introduction. What do you say?
Go for it.
What's up, guys? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam Marvin, and I have been in the photography industry for 25 plus years. While I love being a creative, business is my passion, and elevating the industry of photography is my focus. I created the Seven Figure Photographer to share my journey to 7 figures and to help others find their way too.
That's amazing.
All right, so we have Mia here today. Mia, everybody's going to look at you right now.
Yay. Hello.
There you go. There's Mia. Mia is here with us today. She's going to be sharing some insight on identifying your genius as well. Should we get Dylan in here? How's Dylan feel about it? He's shaking his head no.
Not yet.
Okay, which is a really interesting point because it has nothing to do with being a genius. It's identifying where your genius lies. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. I really just want to talk about like where in your life do you feel like you excel the most? I'm sure you guys have all heard me say what's the quote? Well, now I tell you I'm going to say it, and then I can't even remember what I was going to say.
It's an amazing quote.
Jack of all trades, master of none. There's actually another part to that quote, but I'm not going to go on with that because it ruins kind of my whole thing. But Jack of all trades, master of none. I have always been the kind of person that was like, okay, if somebody can do it, I can probably do it better. And it's gotten me into a lot of trouble in a lot of situations. Right now, I'm feeling like doing it again, just burning the whole place down and restarting. But a couple years ago, Mia actually came to me because I was doing a live. Man, I've been doing this for a long time now.
Yeah.
Because I was doing a live when you came to me, and we're almost at 3 years.
I was following that live for a while.
Yeah.
Because when I moved here, that's so
has it really been almost 4 years? It's almost 3.5 years that I've been doing.
At least 4 years, because I moved here 5 years ago, and I found you pretty quick.
That's crazy. Wow, I didn't realize like how long I've been. Well, lately I've just been slacking at it. But I didn't realize how long.
You found your zone of genius.
I found my zone of genius.
The love sack.
The love sack. Shut your mouth. Just because I like to take a nap on the love sack every now and then. You know what's funny? I find myself reflecting because my dad was a school teacher, okay? And I don't know why I always bring my dad up and I always get emotional about it. This one's not going to get me emotional, but my dad was a school teacher, and every single day he would take a nap at his desk. So like his kids, he'd give them an assignment, and he had his time every day where he had to take a nap. And so I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, he was always an early riser, and every time I get up early in the morning, like when we go fishing, I get up at 6 o'clock or 6:30 or whatever. We go fishing. By the middle of the day, I'm like finding myself needing like a little snooze or a nap. But my dad would literally put his head down in the back of the room on his desk, and sometimes it would be like during, like he'd have his free hour, and that's when he would take his nap. Like he'd get it like right after lunch and stuff. But he would have to take a nap every day.
So you're like that Progressive commercial?
So
like
I'm just
into your parent?
Yeah, I'm just turning into my dad. Frick. I don't know if that's good. But anyway,
back on track.
Yeah, back on track. The whole point was that why I was in the position that I was in was because I had like a lot had just kind of jumbled up in my life. Got to a point where I was like, I didn't fire everybody. That wasn't what it was. It just just happened that my video guy moved on, my assistant kind of moved on, or maybe I kind of fired her. I don't remember. That one I might have fired. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do all this stuff on my own. It just kind of worked out to be in that space where I was like, okay, I can just do this all on my own, and I'll save a lot of money. At the end of that year, I'd realized I'd lost a bunch of money by doing so because I was trying to do a little bit of everything. I was trying to be the jack of all trades. What happens is we find that, yes, we can do a lot of things, but we do a lot of things mediocre or barely at best. And so we have a tendency to struggle. Now, some of those things that I'm talking about is, like, for instance, we're going to kind of talk about some of the things. This is going to be hard for me because I'm going to let you point out some of my crap. But I'm going to point out some of yours, too.
You didn't prepare me, so this is a little unfair.
Well, that's all right, because I didn't want you to have, like, a list of great things about how bad I suck at things. Like, that's not how this works, Mia. And so, but anyway, you just don't even pull your notepad out. Oh, you already have a notepad?
You told us on Monday that we were doing evaluations.
Oh, shoot. Did you make yours? Dylan? Dylan didn't even make his.
Well, I followed the rules.
Well, I just told you to have them by Monday. You understood the assignment? That's a shocker. So she already has a list of stuff. Oh, dear. That was a lot. That was a big note card. Let me see it.
No.
Here, hold it up for everybody to see so that everybody can see your. Oh, you're good. It's a good thing it's all bright. You can't. Or is there even?
I put it on the wrong side so you couldn't see it.
Okay. So anyway, my point in doing all this today is I want you guys to think about like identifying where your zone of genius is. Now, to give you some background on why it is, when we are at our best, or when we can when we do the things that we truly love and that inspire us or that make us, push us to do better, are the things that we do in our zone of genius. Now, the zone of genius is exactly that. What are the things that you excel the most at? Like, for instance, now I have a blank, but everybody has, like, for instance, for me, like, one of my things is like people. I love people. I do well with people. Honestly, I think one of the best things that I excel at is the experience. Now, that aspect of it, one of the places that I don't excel is in planning or organization of said experience, right?
Yeah.
But during the experience, I can make people feel great, right? So by understanding that, like, for me to make the experience better, instead of me trying to put together a plan or organize something for that experience, that's something that I should really be able to give to somebody else to do that for me so that I can stay in my zone of genius. Now, every one of us has a number of different things that we're really, really good at. And most people in the business world or in any sort of career will recognize that they're good at certain things and they're bad at other things. For instance, if maybe you're an excellent police officer, right? And maybe you're an excellent police officer because you really do something to actually change and make the good, but you're not great at writing reports, and so you don't write tickets, right? But is that necessarily a bad thing? Well, I don't know. I mean, I've never been
As
a
long as
police
you don't
officer.
get fired for it.
Well, but at the same time, like you see some of the police officers that don't really necessarily like they don't like
They have a different approach. They're highlighting
skip
the
protocol,
good.
but they actually take their job as a way to change people's lives. Like
Right.
for instance, I saw this one. I don't even remember where I saw it, but it was something about this police officer who had pulled a guy over. His kid was not in a car seat. And because he couldn't afford a car seat for his kid. And so the police officer walked in, like took him to Target, walked him into Target, bought him a car seat, put it in his car and walked away.
That's
And
awesome.
he didn't want any notoriety for it. He just wanted to make an impact. And so he did that. Well, of course, it ended up, there was lots of notoriety. Ended up on what's
Don't ask me.
Steve?
Carell.
No, not Steve
That's
Carell.
the only name I know.
You're so close.
Was I?
What's Steve? Gosh dang it, my wife watches him constantly. Like, guy with the big old mustache.
Sorry.
Um,
When Michelle's on here, she'll let
yeah,
me know.
well,
on.
no, she won't. But anyway, no, not Steve Jobs.
Oh, that's another Steve. See, we could play
Yeah,
this
there's
game.
another Steve. Steve. No, I know. Okay, this is gonna drive me nuts. He's
Steve Harvey. This is fun. I like this.
yeah. I pulled up the picture. Steve Harvey. That's it. Steve
Tony
Harvey.
got it.
Tony got it.
Tony wins.
Darn you, Tony.
Oh, at least you said that.
Yeah, I know. Normally Tony gets something different. But anyway, so that's like obviously it made it there. But my point here is I want you guys to dig deep within yourself, and I want you to find like what are the things you do every day that you suck at. Now this really because I wanted you to focus on the things that you don't suck at. That's where I was going with that, but I got a little ADD here. So you totally threw me off
Sorry.
here. Hi, Misty. Welcome. She says Dr. Phil. No, that's not Steve. But thank you for
Thank you for
participating.
participating.
Okay, so you threw me off. Like
How did I throw you off?
because you
What
started
is that?
laughing when I said identify the things that you suck at. I'm so not cut out for this today. I got
This
bad
is not your
ADD.
zone of genius.
What? This is not my zone of genius, apparently. I think you suck right now. This isn't helping me any. Okay, so, this is what I was trying to talk about. You guys have heard me talk about how when we identify the things that we struggle with in our business, that we need to find other people to do them or figure out ways to automate those things. For instance, like one of the things in my business that we really struggled with for a long time was people would come in and they'd be like, well, we don't really know what we're doing, but we just know that we have pictures right now. And I heard that a lot. And so I recognized, okay, well, I got to do a better job of informing my clients and making sure that they're aware of what's going on so that they don't come in here feeling uncomfortable or like they don't know what they're doing. So we automated email messages, which don't seem to be working right now.
Well, because
right
we
now.
switched programs, yeah.
Yeah. But the other thing that we've done is because even though we had automated emails, we were still getting people that are like, oh, I didn't get no email. And so understanding that we send out emails, people don't read them. Like we had that on many occasions where we'd be up hiking around somewhere and somebody was like, why didn't you tell me to bring shoes? I'm like, well, it was in that email that you got that you didn't read. And so one of the other things that we made a conscious effort to do was to start doing our in-home consultations. Now, that was kind of born out of a different necessity, but what I realized was how powerful it was in preparing people for the experience. And it was also really powerful in helping us get to know our student and the parent before we went on the shoot. So when they got here the day of, we weren't ever running into the uncomfortable situation that I had years ago when I had a mom come in and she was super pissed off because she had a bad day. Now that client has become one of my favorite clients, even though Mia pissed her off really bad a couple years ago.
Quit bringing me up.
Do you remember that other
Yeah,
time
I remember
you
that
forgot
time.
to schedule
Yes.
something? So anyway, but that was like those little things are things that we changed and we fixed because I recognized that I wasn't a genius at dealing with those kinds of things, like the organization aspect. So I learned how to either overcome that or to fill a position that took care of those things for me so that I could really focus on the things that I'm good at. Where I'm really good, and I'm not even, when I say at going out on the shoot, I'm not even saying like the pictures. That's not what I'm,
No, it's the
I'm
experience,
not
but you are
bragging
good at
about that.
pictures, too.
But it is just the experience. I am really good at making people relax and feel comfortable in front of the camera and to have an amazing time. I'm really good. And I think that even like my saying this has helped me, or like has kind of brought some attention to the fact that I am really good at the sales aspect, but I could be much, much better. Like there's probably people that could do it better than me, especially just with that whole disconnect of, well, like the whole thing, like they can use that excuse of, well, I'd have to talk to Sam, or I'd have that whole disconnect thing. Now, what are some of the other things that I am really good at, or I do well at? One thing that I've noticed is I'm actually pretty good at talking to people on the phone, and Mia has kind of I hate talking on the phone. That's what's weird. And so I would not necessarily put that into one of my zones of geniuses. But I have noticed, like Mia hates talking on the phone. She's made it very clear.
I don't like talking on the phone. And I don't like it when you guys are watching me. Like,
yeah, she gets really weirded out
I
when
can't
we're
handle
watching.
it.
But then like I don't even like, she tries to hide every time she calls her anytime I'm gone, and so then I'm just like sitting here thinking, man, she never ever takes calls or
And that's so not true. I just do it every time you leave. I'm like, okay, he's gone. Time to do calls.
Anyway, sorry, I'm drinking my Red Bull here. But those are some of the things that like are really important, and it's really important for you and your business to identify those things where you excel the most, and learn how to overcome or fix or do something. Quit fluffing her head, James.
No, keep it up.
To fix those issues that you have, so that they are not things that create problems for you in your business, until everything just becomes a problem. So we're going to let Mia, I don't know. I haven't made a list for you, you jerk.
You told me to do this.
I know. But
okay, so this is maybe this is one of the things that that we can count as not your zone of genius.
What? Which part?
The follow through.
Follow through. See, this one, I hate that one, but
I know you hate that one.
Mia believes you're like my mom. My mom, like, I'd cough and I'd be like, Mom, I don't feel good, and she'd be like, I think it's because you're overweight, son. That's you. You go to follow through on everything. You're like, you get stuck at follow through.
Fine.
You're not good at it.
We're not just gonna stop at follow through then.
Okay, go on. Since you have
since I have my list.
You have the camera. Okay, go for it.
Okay.
You do have to say the good things too, though. You have to talk about the things that
I didn't write those down.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to come up with them.
I can come up with them. Oh,
go for it.
I lost my AirPods.
Oh, wait. Well, some of this stuff, like,
I know
this was just for you and me.
That's what I'm saying. What do you want?
But let's just talk about like let's identify the things that I don't know if I like this game. Okay, just talk about the things that I'm not good at. Go for it.
Things that you're not good at. So this isn't.
You know that I'm doing this for you, just so you know. Are you going to embarrass me?
No, but now I'm nervous. Okay, so I wrote down, and we did have a conversation at our last meeting. So this wasn't in prep for this, but it just so happened that I knew the assignment and followed through. But, so I wrote down, I need you not to micromanage, but I need you to be aware enough to actually manage. Because I feel like we set up a lot of systems and a lot of protocols to make sure we know we're all on the same page, but they're not being used, and that's frustrating to me. Because I use them, and then you're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, dude, you have it all listed out. Like, why do you question me, and why do you doubt me? Because that bugs me. So I don't know how I don't know what that falls under, though.
Well, no, I do. Like, one of my, I'm not good at micromanaging people. I don't like to micromanage people. I like to give people responsibilities and let them take care of them. Like, and I just expect those things to be, but I do drop the ball in making sure that I'm
aware
like
of what's going on.
Or at least, like
that
following up. Yeah, I just said it.
Or like you said, like thinking that I'm not doing phone calls when actually I do. I just
No, I know
do it
that.
when you're
I'm
not
just
there. Like, but things like that.
yeah.
That's what we have Trello for. Shoot, these are almost all follow-ups.
Well, that's probably because I suck at follow-up.
So should we just leave it at that?
No, because there's a lot of other things I suck at.
Well, I know, but I only
Which
like,
is not
we normally
necessarily
only
just-
do the first 3. So.
Shut up, Dylan.
Let's see. I put weekly meetings, even if we have a little to do, a recap of our goals and how we are going to do that is very helpful. So we haven't been doing those.
No, I know.
And those really do help, I think. Yeah, again, that kind of goes into that
You?
managing and follow-up. But I think it does help everybody. When you sit back down and you refocus on what needs to be done, where we're at in those things, and what you expect, it's helpful. Because when everything's just up in the air, it's just
Okay,
kind
so
of like,
so I don't know.
la, la.
I don't know if this necessarily is like
yeah, I don't know that these
the
are working.
direction that I wanted to go with this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because this was for something different.
Yeah.
So let me think about the things that you suck at.
Yeah. Well, like I'm terrible about opening my mail. Like.
Okay, you know, he's so terrible about opening his mail. We'll just throw him under the bus.
Yeah,
that
I throw money
system.
away.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. But
Okay.
we have a new system where I go get the mail. I open it all for him. I sort it all out. I scan in the important stuff to Dropbox.
Uh-huh.
When's the last time you looked at that?
Not too long ago.
Was that the first time you looked at it in like a long time?
No. I actually look at it.
You just don't then
I just
move it out to
Don't
where it needs to
necessarily
go?
move it.
So how do you know which is the new stuff? Or do you?
Well, I don't know. I didn't say I wanted to look at it. What was the number one reason that we did?
To clean off your desk.
To
Do
clean
you wanna,
off my
do you wanna
desk.
see his desk? Can we,
No, let's not talk about my desk right now. But I don't have a pile of mail on my desk.
No.
So
no,
we're
that's
getting a
true.
little bit better. Like, these are all new things. Yeah, thanks, Shane. I appreciate he's recognizing that I'm a brave man for letting you take all these stabs at me. But that is a good example. And like how often, like, I mean, I'll be the first to tell you that like I pay a lot of stupid money because I don't necessarily like, because I don't necessarily take care of things when they're supposed to be taken care of. I've done this for long enough. Like, I know like when certain things have to be taken care of, and I know they'll call and remind me if that's the case, and so then I take care of it. But like, yes, it would be easier if I just went on and set like auto payments, which that comes from a fear of like early on in my business where there just wasn't any money, and it was like setting up an automatic payment was terrifying because you never knew when money would be there, right?
Right. But then you have to think about it from, and this is just from my perspective as the employee, if I have to sort and do your mail, that takes time away from other things that I might be much better at. Like, I'm literally sitting here opening mail, right? Which isn't a big deal. It's something that needs to be done. But it goes back to, I think, what you're saying, that balance. If I'm succeeding at one thing, I'm not going to be succeeding at the other. So I'm really good at putting all your mail in Dropbox for you and getting it all shredded. But if you're doing nothing with it, is that really where I should be spending my time?
It's going, no matter what, it's got to be taken care of at some point in time by one of us. So it's going to get taken care of. I'd rather have you do it than than me do it, because I hate mail. Absolutely hate it. And it's really funny because when I was a kid, I used to get mail like crazy, because I would go to like ski resorts. I would call ski resorts and be like, can you send me like a welcome packet or an information packet about your ski resort? And I used to love getting all these packets of mail, like,
Oh my gosh.
and it was such junk. Like, and now it's like, it drives me nuts. I hate paper. I hate paper on my desk. But right now it's really bad, but my whole world is upside down. So, okay, so that's one example. Another example is like,
I can go with marketing.
marketing is one of my weaknesses.
we're
And it's
sucking it
really
up at
funny that
marketing.
everybody thinks that I'm good at marketing, but I struggle with it. And partly,
Do you want to go into them?
no, not really, but one of the, I think you love this. You love like, we're taking the camera off of her. She's
Has it
getting
been
too
on me
excited
that whole
about-
time?
Huh? Yeah, it has
stink?
been on you. Marketing is a struggle for me, and part of the reason where I'm at right now a lot of the stuff that we have done in the past that has worked
Is not working.
is not working. And so, guys, this is a classic example of which we haven't even really talked much about the mailers. We do need to update our information, but our mailers
It bombed.
they were a huge bomb this year.
And I don't think that was necessarily our fault. It just was the way that it worked.
Yeah, things definitely are different. But my point in saying this is this is kind of an eye opener. This is one of those things that I've had on my mind a lot. For years, I would spend I would devote all my time to learning about sales, and then all my time learning about other things. The last 2 years, I've spent most of my time learning
Sales.
about marketing.
Really?
Yeah, I've been reading marketing books. The fact you say really.
Yeah. No, that's true. But
So, of course, Mia's go-to is that I just don't follow through. Where I struggle and where I've struggled really bad lately is I've become really gun shy,
say afraid.
you might say, because I've the mailers. How much did we spend on the mailers? It was
More than we wanna talk
$15,000.
about. Yeah.
Okay, so we spent $15,000 on these mailers. Complete flop. We've gotten a few sessions out of them. We
Yeah, but
may have
May have just made our money back.
made our money back. I don't think we actually have yet. Maybe
Probably.
close.
Probably not.
But so much of what we have done, we have spent, and part of it comes down to and where you don't see or where you don't understand. I'm going to go to both of us so that everybody can see us together because that's more fun. One of the things that you don't see is when I've built out pages for here's a good, it's literally been there's been successes to it, but do you remember last year when we tried to do our portion of the Christmas minis?
Yeah.
Okay, so Christmas minis for Brianna were a success.
Yes.
We pretty much were the ones that did that. And really the only reason they flopped on our behalf, I think, is because that was going after a market that we really didn't have. Most of our clients don't have those young children, and they don't want to come do frou-frou Christmas shit for their 18-year-old kids, right?
James, he said it.
Yeah, I said it that time. So, but it seems like everything from even from before there has just been a flop after flop after flop. Nothing seems to be working, and so we're trying to figure out what are the new ways to do things. But what it's done to me is it has made me really gun shy to where I don't want to spend the time doing things because I can't handle another failure when it comes to that. You'd think that after so much of it, why do you have a smirk on your face?
Oh, I was talking to James.
You think after so much of it, you'd get some traction, but it seems like we're not getting that traction.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just that everything is different right now or what. I don't know if things are going to come back. I haven't figured out how to adapt to this new stuff. I know one of the things that I really feel like we should be doing is Facebook ads, but we went through such a time where Facebook changed. Well, Apple forced Facebook's change,
Yes.
and they just weren't working
Right.
worth a crap. And so it's what do you do? So that's kind of my point here. Marketing is not my zone of genius.
Right.
It's not even your zone of genius. It's none of our zones
No.
of genius. So what do we do in that situation? We figure out a way to either hire it out or do something. But having a full-time marketing person on staff is not really a reasonable thing. It could be if they really generated, but that
Income.
could be a long time of
Well, and I think that's one of the hard
wait.
things with marketing. Unfortunately, some of them are long-term.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a perfect example of one of the challenges of being a photographer or being a small business and entrepreneur is you really are responsible for so many different things. Your bookkeeping, your marketing, your client relations, all that stuff, it all falls down on one person.
So how do we figure out what is the zone of genius for you?
Well, I do, and one of the things that I have noticed, and like where I seem to be the best is shooting sessions and selling them. And so realistically, a lot of the other things, the sad thing is that I'm still hugely responsible for marketing, and it just hasn't been working. Right. So, they say that the two most important things in any business are your, just marketing and, innovation. So, which are two things that, I mean, innovation in this industry has been a struggle because we fight it so much. We fight new growth in photography because we're trying to keep it this old school way of print media. Yet it is, I mean, the fact that I've been able to sell product and wall portraits and stuff like that so well in an industry that is begging for change of digital, like, but we're fighting it so much. Like, I mean, that's kind of a weird thing, but it has been something that's been on my mind a lot. So the other thing, and we've actually talked about this before, the other thing, and one of the my strongest places or my strong suits is being a fixer. Like I can identify problems and fix problems, especially in other people's businesses. So in that aspect, I'm a problem solver. That's really, like, for me, that's one of the biggest things that I enjoy and I'm really strong in. So those are some of the things that I'm great at. So that leaves a whole lot in this business that is what's the word? Under cared for.
Under cared for?
Or that kind of leaves a lot for you to do.
Yeah. Well.
So then what's your zone of genius? I didn't make a list of all the things you suck at, jerk face.
Oh. I think I wrote them down from last week. You're good.
Oh. I didn't even give you the whole list.
Oh, yeah, okay. I wanted to flip you off, but you still have me on camera.
Go ahead, flip me off. I dare you. See, that's the kind of, and she wants me to micromanage her or manage her. I can't manage people that disrespect me. No, just kidding. Okay, so what are, yeah, James said he saw that. What would you say are your strong suits?
Well, it's interesting because I think working with the people also is one of my strong suits and keeping them happy. And I'm in communication with them a lot. Like I send out reminder texts. I do a lot of little things like that I think kind of leads to, just like you were saying, helping them understand where they are in that journey, where like the actual experience is more yours. I try and fill in those little bits in between. I don't know. I don't know right now. You had me all in my head last week, so I'm not sure.
She was grumpy last week.
But I don't know, keeping everything running, I guess. It's just like, it is kind of like the mom behind everything, just making sure all the little parts are going together and getting the batteries done and the
Whoops, sorry.
making sure the cameras are ready and you know what's happening next.
Yeah.
And
see, that's kind of where it is vital, because like I do get a little scatterbrained about a lot of that stuff. And so for me, I am stronger when I literally can just come in, take care of the client, go out on a shoot and sell those pictures. That's where the money is made in this business.
Right.
Are on those two things. But then there's,
also need leads.
We also need leads.
And that's where the other stuff comes in.
Yeah. And it's challenging for everybody. It's not like, and I think that overall, and maybe I'm incorrect in this, overall it's been a different year for
I think it has
a lot. I mean, we've noticed just kind of with SEO amongst other competitors here, we've seen some huge drops as kind of completely different than normal. But at the same time, like, we also still just have to look at it as the things in our own business that we're doing. So out of all this, I hope you guys will recognize, or I hope you'll take some time to write down not about what Sam sucks at.
But if you want to,
I mean, you're certainly
send
welcome
them
to do
my
that.
way.
Do not send them to Mia because she will revel in it. But consider the things that like you are struggling with, and consider the things that you feel like really, really motivate you. The things that drive you to be the best. Like, where are you the happiest? This is a really good thing in the book. What is it called? It's the Red Velvet Rope one. Book Yourself Solid. They talk about like finding the right clients, and this is huge. Finding the right clients that really empower you, and not the clients that just suck the
Drain
life
you.
out of you. We've had clients like that, and I've noticed that it feels like we're getting better and better about the clients that we love.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe that's just one of those things that we just have, or we've just really gotten good about making sure that we're in that position. We don't fight as hard for the bad clients. And one thing that I have noticed this year is our sales, like our individual sales, are up. Like, we're doing really well with our individual sales. We don't have nearly the lower sales that we've had. We just don't have as many bookings as normal. So, you know, when it all really boils down to it, it'll be interesting to see the numbers.
Yeah.
Then at the end of the year, but at the same time, here we go again, looking for, okay, what are the numbers at the end, instead of recognizing like what our projections are.
Well, but I think we have talked quite a bit about changing our focus at this point and just leaving this year as what it is and going for our juniors and sophomores right now. And what are you doing?
I'm playing with fingernail clippers and I keep pulling them apart. I apologize.
But I think one of the things, as you were talking, like trying to figure out how or what your zone of genius is. I remember one time when you made us write a list, and you, like cleaning was one of my things. And you're like, well, yeah, because I had told you that it gets like all my energy out. Like I enjoy cleaning that way, but it also drains me. So I think it's important when you figure out those things, like just really evaluate them. Just because it's something you might be good at doesn't necessarily mean it's something that you can continually do on a top level because you're good at it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
well, and that there's a lot to be said for all of that, because like, as we know, if the cleaning is left up to me, it just doesn't get done. Not that I'm an inherently messy person. It's
just not a priority.
I have unfortunately come to just rely on the people around me, because I grew up and
okay.
But my point is that like in the studio here, like we have to have that, you know, and my sister's been going through a lot right now with her husband. And so she hasn't been into clean, which is, you know, she's the one that does our cleaning for us. And so, so all those things, like they end up having, you know, impact, positive or negative, one way or another. But you're exactly right. Like it's for photographers, like, I recognized a point when I hated answering the phone and I just stopped responding fast enough, and I was kind of like, and it hurt really bad. But then at the same time, like, and I don't know that it necessarily like, it's not that you're not good at it. It's just that like I have high expectations, and so and you freak out when I'm listening to you. So anyway, but at the same time, like I've made a point more this year to just answer the phone and to take calls, because it's not like that big of a deal, and it does end up ultimately bringing people in.
And I swear they always call when I go to the bathroom. Like it's ridiculous. Sure,
you just like it just rings on your phone like a minute earlier, and you're like, oh, bathroom time.
Bathroom time.
That's what it is. So, but anyway, my point, guys, in all this today, the only thing I want you to take from this is not how dumb I am. Where do you perform the best in your business? And figure out a way to make it to where those are the things that you're doing and not focusing on the other things. We spend so much time on marketing that we don't like. we spend so much time on all of the stuff in this business that we don't even have as much time for the shooting aspect.
Yeah.
Or for the just fun creative stuff, to where we feel too busy, and I just spit, too busy in everything else that we're not able to just relax and do the fun stuff of like playing with our kids or our people. And when I say our kids, I'm talking about our seniors,
Yes.
not our other kids. And so then therefore we're wasting time on things that could really be taken care of by other people for the most part. Like there's some of it, like I said, the marketing thing is like, that's just one that has me completely perplexed right now. Huh?
In a roadblock.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's got me knocked down. So anyway, think about that, guys. Make a list. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, share the list in the group.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to want to share their.
I don't think that group is a group that would attack anybody.
It doesn't matter. No. Like, what you're not great at.
I'll post what Sam's not great at in the group.
Yeah, you already just shared that. I think all too often people are. I think you love sharing with me what I suck at.
No.
So focus on those things. Find what you're good at. Find what you're not good at, and figure out a way to fix the things that you're not good at, or to automate them, or to find somebody that can do them for you. Because if you can do that, you can start to have a lot more confidence in your business, and you can really just do what you need to do. Like I said, if I am just going out on shoots and just selling those things, it gives me a whole lot more, it just makes me feel a lot more relaxed because I don't have to worry as much about the other stuff. But then, things do go by the wayside because I don't properly manage. And that's one thing that I've learned. I suck at the whole managing people thing.
You don't suck at it.
But anyway.
You could do better. We'll go with that.
I could do better.
Yeah.
I can always do better.
We all
That's the story of my life. I could always do better. We'll just leave it there. Okay. Any questions, thoughts?
James said that his is working with people and helping get them relaxed during the shoot, and the parents involved and excited.
And that's good. That's like, I can see that with James.
Yeah, he's good.
It's an important part, and I think that you'd be surprised, even with our in-home consultations and our studio tours, with the effort, the whole intention of making sure people are well aware, it takes more time. It takes more of everything. It takes more of our resources, but I do feel like people are more aware, people are happier, people are ultimately at that point spending more. I think that it equates. Maybe it doesn't equate into thousands more. Maybe it's just hundreds more. Maybe it's just 100 more. But I think people feel a lot better. I feel a whole lot better knowing that people are coming, and they're not we don't have to try to win their hearts at the time where we have to perform what we have to perform.
Well, I feel like it just makes us seem more put together. We know what's happening. You've already gotten the things that we asked for them because we got it early at that, and yeah. And
it's funny because the shoot that we did the other day with Bella, I didn't get to be a part of the in-home consultation because we had some stuff mixed up.
In the first one we showed up and they weren't ready.
Yeah. We went to their house the first time and she was like, "Who are you?
Why are you here?"
We're doing your senior pictures, and she's like, "I didn't even know about that." So, and then the other time Mia went because I had another session I had to take, or another client I had to take care of. So I didn't even know a whole lot of what was going on. Mia updated me the next morning and kind of gave me information about what was going on that day. She sent me the pictures, and it was really funny because the outfit that ended up being my favorite outfit,
he hated it.
Oh my gosh. And she looked so frumpy.
She did when she took that picture.
Terrible in that picture. And I was like, what am I going to do with this?
And
it was the first location. In fact, if you go look at my TikTok.
How's that doing?
I don't know. If you go look at my TikTok, you can see the shoot where we went to the record exchange, and she just absolutely nailed it. I guess I did all right myself.
Wasn't your zone of genius?
Yeah, shush your mouth. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope that's beneficial. I hope it's something that will make you think about where you guys are at. When you can perform at your best, you're going to excel at what you do. Read about it in the book of the month, The Zone of Genius. You're going to come across it. It's going to make a lot of sense to you. A lot more sense than the way I explain or talk about it. I really just kind of threw myself under the bus. Are we getting sunlight out? No, it's just smoke.
Oh, just smoke.
Idaho is on fire right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you want to add anything at the end? Here, let's go to your face.
Hi. No, I think you kind of did. I think just the only thing is, like, don't be afraid to experiment and discover what is your zone of genius. I think sometimes people get stuck in that mindset that I'm good at this, but that's because they've never tried the other things.
Yeah.
You might be really good at it, but
Well,
you
and
might
if
be
you-
really good at something else.
If you hate, like, working with people,
yeah.
that might be a good sign that this may not be the right thing for you.
Well, but I think there's certain people that
But you could do
there's certain
other
clients
things.
that need that too. I mean, there's certain clients that come to us because they want that in their face and bubbly and everybody to notice they're out there. And there's other
yeah, and there's
clients
some people that wouldn't like
who,
it.
yeah, that wouldn't work well
Yeah.
with. And they would be better with that photographer that is more introverted and,
You mean meet them in the park at 6 o'clock?
well, maybe not necessarily meet them in the park at 6 o'clock. Like, you can still take care of them to that point, but it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be over bubbly and vivacious. It could just be calm and peaceful, and we're just doing a few shots. And
Yeah,
I think there's clients for everybody and photographers for everybody.
definitely true.
So figure out what it is.
There
Have
are
fun.
customers for the shoot and burn. I think,
Yeah, and that too.
sadly, like the demand for that, it's a demand that's growing, but I think that it's growing in a different way. Like, people are valuing photography more. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just see it from a different perspective because I'm in a different
Yeah.
market of it. I don't know.
I don't know. I think this,
I
as
did
far as
get-
seniors go, this year's weird.
Yeah, yesterday I got from our client that your stuff's just falling out.
Yeah, they always
We had a client that lived in probably one of the biggest houses in the city of Boise. Very, very well off. We, for the most part, took pretty good care of him. And
do. Tell me I messed up.
she came in, yeah.
That's all
And
good.
then she came back yesterday because we had to finalize her thing. And she, of course, talked to her husband about a budget, right?
Right.
Well, he had talked to one of the people at work, his coworkers, and they did senior pictures for $300. So he didn't understand why
Wow.
they would spend.
See, and that is where that hurts because
Yeah.
that's, and he probably doesn't
does.
know what they got.
Well, that's just the thing. Like, they don't understand, like, senior pictures are not the same for every, like,
There's senior
yeah.
pictures and there's senior
The
portraits
pictures-
that you can hang on the wall.
well, yes, and there's even more to it. It's like, it is the experience.
It's the
Like,
experience, yeah.
I mean, we always tell people, and I've even kind of gotten to the point where I think that might be kind of like one of our catchphrases, like, the pictures are just part of the experience, the
Byproduct.
pictures are just a byproduct of the experience that we have. And so, but yeah, it's hard to put it into like words or explanation of what those things really are, because yeah, like a lot of those photographers, those younger, newer photographers that are just trying to make a go of it. Like, even a lot of the high school photographers here are charging $800. So people in that $300 range, a lot of them are not, like, they're not legit businesses. They're not paying
No.
taxes. They're kind of just, sad as it is,
They're
that,
the
like, they just
pirates of
haven't,
photography.
well, and it's not even the pirates. It's just,
It sounded cool. They got me to make
they've
them all
got
eye
to,
patches.
like, part of it is they
Dylan's
are
in.
just not, they haven't figured it out, or they don't understand what they're doing for themselves. They got to start somewhere. I mean,
Yeah.
you have
Oh,
to start
absolutely.
somewhere.
I
But
charged $300.
yeah, well, I charged $250 for a long time, but anyway, that's all a whole different
Topic.
topic. Yeah, I was gonna say argument, but
If you guys want other topics, maybe not your zone of genius is coming up with topics. Should have thrown that one in.
that is definitely the truth. Like,
Yeah, so if y'all want to help Sam out, or
nobody's ever
actually
given
help-
me good
help
topics.
me
though.
out
Nobody's
because he comes to me like 10 minutes beforehand. Hey, I need a topic.
Well, and
So,
like when
y'all
I
can
have
help
to,
me
when
out a
I
little
try
bit.
to think about topics, it's like
I know you have to be behind it.
empty
So I need like this
yeah.
huge list of ideas
Yeah, and
so that I can just
even
spit
we
them out
have
at
a
you.
list in Trello of like probably 100 different topics to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
And I've stopped going to it because
Yes.
it's like every time I go to it, I'm like, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good. It's literally got to be something that's like in my life right then and there. Like, and it can't even like, it's hard for me to even plan it a week out because.
I have one I want to do.
Well,
Maybe I'll take over next week. I'll tell you when we're off.
Oh, you think you're going to take over, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, great. All right, guys, we're going to close this up before Mia tries to take over. Peace out and have a lot of fun this week. We'll see you next week.